Well, here we are at the James Beck Cancer Center. My brother used to actually be a volunteer here, so not nervous at all. I'm just anxious about getting this done and over with and getting some lab tests and seeing where I'm at and really sharing it with you and showing you friends that you don't need to, be apprehensive about any of this.
Not that day. You have to have labs prior. Hi, can I help you?
Yeah, I have an appointment, Stacey Dean, and they sent me a big pack of
After you start your prep.
paperwork, but I don't have it.
Okay, so you don't have the questionnaire?
No questionnaire.
Okay, do you have a photo ID and your insurance card?
I don't have any insurance, but I do have a photo ID.
In September, what they've got. Under September 20th.
So there was a lady that just came out and she was ringing the bell, and I had to come over here to look to see what the bell meant, and it said ringing out. Ring this bell 3 times. Well, it's told to clearly say my treatment's done, this course is run, and I'm on my way. Wow. That's a big deal when the bell is rung. So good for her. So we're just waiting. I filled out my paperwork. Got that down. It was really easy. It was just a couple questions. I don't really have much of a health history, believe it or not. I always seem to be sick, but I don't have much of a health history. My brother's here with me too for moral support, which is really nice. It's good that the Lord opened this door so I could come to this clinic where my family is. So it's good.
I did a confusing way, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
We'll go right in this room here.
Okay.
Find which flag I am. There we go.
So she took my vital signs, and vital signs were good. Heart rate was 55. 100% on oxygen. That's good. My brain is being oxygenated. And blood pressure, I forget, what did she say my blood pressure was? Like
134 over 82.
Was it over 82?
Mhm.
That was a little high.
You might be a little anxious.
I may be a little anxious,
Yeah.
but I don't feel anxious. I feel awesome. But this is Dr. who I'm going to see, Dr. Pula. Right there. This is all their people. And then I told them I have no insurance because she asked if I needed any community resources, and she mentioned she said, "Oh, you got to talk to financial counseling, or they've got some type of counselor here for financial support, and they have community care. I don't know what community care is, but she's going to give me all that information, and advanced directive, and I don't have an advanced directive either, and that's really important. I used to ask my patients all of these questions. Do you have an advanced directive? I really need to get an advanced directive. You know, us nurses are the worst ones. So we're gonna wait for Dr. Pula, and then I probably won't do any filming while he's in here, but we'll catch you up when we're done. We'll see what he has to say. Okay, so the doctor was in. He's excellent. God is so good. So first of all, he said we have very limited testing on you. In order to really diagnose, confirm 100% that you have multiple myeloma, you have to get a bone biopsy. I'm like, I'm not doing a bone biopsy, is what I'm thinking. And he didn't even go down that road. He explained to me the test that was done, which is very specific, that tests for certain proteins. And he's going to give me that test again. He's like, we're going to do all the retesting and we're going to go from there. Now, what he explained is that in our blood, we have our WBCs, our lymphocytes or granulocytes, and then they make these other types of plasma and lymphocytes, right? Plasma and memory cells. And what happens with multiple myeloma is there's MGUS, SMM, and MM, which is multiple myeloma. You can have indicators of multiple myeloma like this IgG and IgM and not have the cancer. So what he was trying to explain is you can have the indicators, but it may not progress to the full-blown cancer. He says 2% of people where it goes to the full-blown cancer. And he said my doctor did a very good job in Idaho with running the tests and looking into the protein, because that's where it's at. She ran all the right tests. But he says, we prayed. It could have gone either way. And I always, as soon as my doctor told me that they found multiple myeloma, I immediately prayed about it. And I said, no, I'm not going to accept this diagnosis. The Lord has told me I am healed. So that, for me, that's confirmation that the Lord is doing what he promised. He's doing what he's promised. And now I get more testing to confirm that I don't have the cancer, if that makes sense. And then the other good thing is, listen to this. I told him about my back. My back and the cancer is not related. And he says there is a pain expert here, Dr. Sika, that he really wants me to see. And he said, it really sounds like it's nerve because of the anatomical structure of your spine. And he says they can do nerve blocks. He said, definitely we can look into treating that. So that was good news too. Oh, and he's going to do some very specific testing because I really wanted to look into doing that hyperbaric chamber. And I may not do that now because if I can get this pain under control, I may not even need to do the hyperbaric chamber. He talked about the toxicity and how dangerous it can be. And there's a test that he's specifically going to run that makes sure that if I would decide, it's not going to be dangerous for me. Because he says there's a condition of your blood that if you don't test for it and you go into a hyperbaric chamber, it's going to multiply your red blood cells, and that's not good. I'm really impressed with this doctor. He's very straightforward. He explained things really well. And it was God's timing for me to come here. So I got to get some blood tests done, and then I got to go home with a big jug for my urine, which I could probably fill up right now. Probably, because I really need to go to the bathroom. All right, I'll keep you posted. We're going to probably go down to the lab. Oh, and he's going to do some type of skeletal x-ray or scan because you can also see multiple myeloma in the bones. And he wants to ensure that my bone scan is going to be clear.
So the doctor wants you to collect the urine specimen that goes overnight.
Yeah.
So first thing in the morning, let's say you wake up at 7 a.m., you'll avoid that going into the toilet, but that's your start time.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so 7 a.m. Then you collect every last drop for 24 hours.
Okay.
In the morning of the second day when you wake up, 7 a.m.,
Yeah.
that one you collect.
Oh,
Then
okay.
you're done.
Okay, all right.
So first morning, void, collect everything else.
Okay.
Second morning, collect, and then done.
And then do I
So
drop
even
it
if
off
you get up
here?
at Coke. Did you move here from somewhere?
I was originally from here, and I was living out in Idaho,
Mm-hmm.
in the Panhandle for about 7 years, and then I got sick, and I was a nurse, but I couldn't work anymore. I was so sick, and then my girlfriend came and got me from Georgia, so I went over there to recover, and then she gave me her RV to live in, because, kind of lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you
Yeah.
don't work, and there's no income and no insurance, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And by the grace of God, he's like having me come full circle, and he brought me back home now, and I'm visiting, and I'm helping also with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
But it's wonderful to be here. I mean, I just feel like there's so much purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because when I left, I wasn't saved. And I was saved out in Idaho, and now that I'm saved, it's like coming back here is really, I don't know, it's just spiritually very empowering because I'm seeing people that I haven't seen for years, and I wasn't saved back then.
So you
And
see
now I
things
am.
completely different.
Oh, completely different. And I'm beginning to see how I used to be. And I'm like, I was such a completely different person. But it's good to see that, like my brother, he's like, yeah, you're really transformed. He's like, you used to have no time for nobody, and all you did was things for yourself. And yeah. And yeah, it is good. It's good. And it's nice to hear the feedback that, you know, people do see that when you get saved. God changes you.
Yeah.
He changes you.
It's a way of putting the heat to your feet.
Yes, that's right. The heat to your feet. Yeah. Well, I didn't feel the heat for a long time, so. Oh, brother.
We sat in a Bible study we went to every Tuesday, and the pastor just randomly asked, how have you been, how are you different since you know the Lord better?
Yes.
And then my coworker says, you never call people freaks anymore, Jeannie.
See? Even little stuff like that.
Thanks for answering for me,
Yes,
you jerk.
but isn't that wonderful?
No,
Because it
it's
does it, you know, everything, our speech, and just, I don't know, it's like a veil has been lifted, and I'm just so much more at peace. I have so much more joy, and even with my health issues, I know I'm standing on the rock, and I just don't worry.
How long ago was it?
Well, when I was saved, or it's been 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah, since the day I set foot on Idaho soil, that's when I got saved.
No kidding.
So yeah,
That's fun.
yeah.
How did
So-
it happen?
It was on the way out
late
there.
that night?
No, it was on the way out there. And in fact, I got saved. I had bought a book. I'm 40-some years old, and I just felt like I had done everything in my life, but the Lord is calling. I'm like, I feel so empty.
Yeah.
There's something that's missing.
Yeah.
And I had this book called The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. Not the Bible. The Lord didn't call me to read his word because he knew I wasn't going to read it. And he brought this book, and I started reading it before he moved out to Idaho, and it just convicted me. I'm like, wow, this is serious.
Yeah.
This is who Jesus is. He really, and the stuff that Rick wrote about, and the whole process on the way out, just all these, and you know how God, when you're new, he performs big things.
Right.
Like he really is like, I'm here, I'm real, this is happening, and I've got a whole testimony how he revealed himself. And he kept revealing himself until I found a church.
Yeah.
And then I finally heard the sermon about how Jesus died on the cross.
Yeah.
And I just wept. I just thought,
Yeah.
he died for us.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Yes.
It's overwhelming what he's done for us.
And then in the book, and it says if you want to know how it's done, then you have to check with the owner's manual.
Yeah, there you go.
Like,
There you go.
But I did that in a class called Alpha. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Well, it's basically breaking down and who are these people and how were they, his friends, or how'd they get in there? And
Interesting.
so then when it finally sinks in, what does it mean? That he
Yes.
died on the cross? Because I went to Catholic school. I knew that.
I always get the doors wrong. All right, my friends, beautiful day, and we're saying goodbye to the James Beck Cancer Center. I've got my test for the urine fixation, the protein electrophoresis test, that I know will confirm that there is no cancer in my body, because God is good all the time, and his promises are true. His promises are true. Trust in the Lord. Don't trust in yourself, right? All those naysayers. I told you.